names are Jackson Gachuiri. I'm a pastor, Pefa Eastgate, Nakuru. Welcome today. I want to encourage you from the book of Genesis, that 7, verse 23 to 28, as I read. So it came to pass when Joseph had came to his brothers, and they stripped to Joseph of his tunic, the tunic of many colors that was on him. 24. Then they took him and they cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. 25. And they sat down to eat a meal. Then they lifted their eyes and looked, and there was a company of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels, bearing spices, balms, and myrrh, on their ways to carry them down to Egypt. So Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is there if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh." And his brothers listened. Then Midianites, traders, passed by. So the brothers pulled Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. And they took Joseph to Egypt. We thank God, viewers, as I encourage you, this word. Joseph's journey started from his father's house to the dry pit, from the dry pit to slavery, from slavery to prison, and from prison to the throne. What do you want to say? I want to say this concerning the story of Joseph. You are aware of Joseph, a son who was more favored by Jacob, his father. And there was difference between Joseph and other brothers. Because he was so much favored, he was given a coat for many colors. Tofauti ilikuwa ya kwamba alipatiwa kakoti kako na marangi mengi. Just a garment was a different, and he was hated by his brothers because of the garment. Remember, believers, Christ has clothed us with a garment of salvation. Our difference with the worldly people is the garment of salvation. Ila Yesu Kristo ametuvalisha nguo ya wokovu. So kuna tofauti yetu na ulimwengu, nguo ya mavazi. And the Bible tells us Joseph was very much hated because of the clothes, or because of the coat of many colors. And Joseph, he went through difficult situations. Although he was a godly man, although he obeyed his fathers, but he found himself in a pit. After a pit, he went from a prison. After prison, slavery. And after slavery, went to a throne in life. The life of a Christian is not only a red carpet. It's not just only a lot of flowers, thorns, pits, wilderness. For God to take you to a throne, you must go through a hardship in life. So Joseph found himself in a pit. Na mwisho wake, he found himself in a position of influence. What do I mean when I say in a position of influence? He was able to reunite his family. He was able to give the government of Egypt an advice to save many generations to come for food because of famine. So even though one time he was a prison, even though one time he was in a pit, he found himself in the position of influence. My brothers and my sisters, no matter how long a lie is sustained, truth will someday prevail. Brother zake walidanganya, wakatumia njia ya uovu, but the long last, the truth will someday prevail. Doesn't matter what the people say, but remember, the truth will prevail. The position of influence must begin with suffering. Must begin to be put in the pit. What is your suffering today? What is your pit today? Your dry pit today? Right now, what is your dry pit? You may say that you have not have a dry pit. But remember, you might be sick. You might be poor. You might be going a very difficult situation in your marriage. It means that your sickness might be a dry pit. But remember one thing. Joseph did not remain in a dry pit. He moved on. Because the dry pit is not your final destination. As a believer, as a Christian, you must move on. This means that your sickness, your poverty, the situation that you are in today, it is not your destination. Your destination is in the hand of God. Remember, God never promised to keep us away from trials, to keep us away from dry pit, to keep us away from storms. Brothers, Daniel, those Hebrews, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were prayer people, but God did not promise them they will keep away from trials, but He promised to see them through. God is promising us today, He will see us through. Through trials, you will learn to be patient. Through trials, you will help others, people who are in trials. The world today filled with people who need your encouragement. God is preparing you through your trials, through the dry pit. God is preparing you to encourage people. Thank you, my viewers. I want to pray with you. Father, we thank you for the viewers. We thank you, King of Glory, for the plan that you have toward us. Thank you for every dry pit we are going through, Lord. Father, we thank you for that you are going to go with us. You are going, King of Glory, my Father, to go before us. You make a way where there's no way. Dry pit is not our final destination, but our final destination is in the throne of God. Our life is the heart of God. Thank you. We give you glory. Thank you in Jesus' name, Lord, I believe.